They don't go to know what to say about this person is true or the lie. So they agree with everything and then they run with it. They accept it. So this is what been happening to Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings came in 2017 and he, stated that he wanted to become president for Liberia. His opponents went and built up a very big lie today. When you check everywhere, that's what people keep saying that, oh, Mr. Cummings, that gay. I want to talk about this thing so that you who are here today can know the real truth. And when you leave from here, through your own conviction, you can go and tell someone, say, oh, I hope you're saying a lie. Now, if I go further, I have the video here, and maybe I'll share with a few persons here to, go and share in the community. In 2017, when Mr. Cummings voiced his desire to become president for Liberia, a man called Obert, at the time he was supporting CDC. And now if you go on Facebook, you'll see a page there, Obert. He usually has his live podcast, and he talks about issues. So he made up the lie against Mr. Cummings that Mr. Cummings are gay. In his confession, he said it clearly. But again, like I said, this is our society. People run with everything, that they hear, and they don't go on to, or cross-check. Now, Mr. Cummings went to the radio, and then he was interviewed by the late Monday Jackety. And they said, oh, Mr. Cummings agreed to what, and the best thing about him. But mind you, people understand things differently. Now the question was, Mr. Cummings, what will you do, or as the president, will you support the debate, for gay in Liberia? Mr. Cummings said, right, and I'm on record for this. Mr. Cummings said, I don't understand why will people or men want to love to his friend man. It's a lifestyle that I cannot understand. Boom. Now people wrong with it. They say, oh, you don't understand that lifestyle that is a gay. But you are saying, why will a man leave a woman and go to another man? So it's a lifestyle that I don't understand. It's something that I struggle to understand. Though the community struggle with gay lifestyle. But that's Liberia. That's how people don't. Now I challenge anybody. Those who say the director here tell them say we are recording one the community I struggle with gay lifestyle. He was saying I don't understand the kind of lifestyle. You say someone say I'm brother sweet, but we very forget they can put it on they fire a ball where's the video. They say I don't understand how I struggle with how they will take a long time to put Pamodor. They say oh the message in the Pamodor. That's how it. You are saying he does not understand why will a man leave a woman and go to another man. So it's a lifestyle that he does not understand. He struggles with it. For Liberia and Liberians, people don't understand. Now, I have the video here, just that we don't have a large screen here that I can play it. But the man confessed, Obert confessed that he made up the lie against Mr. Cummings. And because Georgia didn't give him a job in the government, so he came back to confess. So that's just something I wanted to clear up firstly, because our chairman has something very strategic to talk about. So I will now do up my heart to give the podium to the next speaker. You're welcome.
So, greetings. Like the Deputy Secretary General for Media and Communications stated earlier, my name is Samuel Cha, and I'm the spokesperson or the Director of Communications for the Youth Congress. Normally, before the chairman speaks, we have to introduce him. We know, you all know who he is, and he has lived with you people, and you all know his character. But as you can see, there are other people watching from various sources. So, Mr. Baldwin, who is your speaker today, and who is the leader of our team here, this is a usual activity for mobilization, recruitment, and maintainment. To convey, that means to tell you who Mr. Cummings is, what he stands for, what he wants to do for you people, how he will do that, and to also tell you what have been some of the problems, that you people have been facing and how Mr. Cummins can solve this problem. So we all went to the Queen 2017. I said we because when Mr. Weah won the election, they said Liberian voted for him, right? It didn't say sedition. So we went to the Queen 2017 and we voted Mr. Weah with the anticipation, with the mindset that you will not repeat the past mistakes of the former government Manasali. So we gave it the power, but after 5 years, the very things the former government said, or we said the former government was doing, is the very thing the real government is doing, and they are doing it triple times than what the past government was doing. You all understand the price of a bag of rice. Nobody need to tell you. You all understand the price for a gallon of gasoline. No one need to tell you. You all understand how you struggle, how mothers, fathers struggles and find difficult times to pay their children's school fees. Sometimes you have to beg people. So these are all circumstances. So the leader of our team will tell you, Mr. Butler, will tell you the reason why you should vote or you should support Mr. Cummins in the 2023 general election. He will also tell you why, of all of the presidential candidates, it is only Mr. Cummins, Alexander Benedict Cummins, who can better deliver on the very change that you want. He will also tell you how Mr. Cummins intends to affect those changes that he has been seeing. He will also tell you the mistakes and errors the real government have been making. He will also tell you the mismanagement and the bad governance system of the real government that have confined all of us into this national hardship. So, but before I call him, I would also like to tip the Secretary General a bit, who might just have 3 minutes. They'll tell you just something brief, and then he has the constitutional right to introduce the Secretary General. Thank you.
Both of my colleagues have said a lot already, but today the most important thing is one of your own sons, one of your own brothers, one of your own uncle is here. He has taken your name as a community on the national scene. I want to state here that you should be proud of him, that he's representing you well. When you see other executives from ANC come here with him, that means your son, your brother, or whatever relationship you have with him is doing well on the national scene. So you should be happy that everything comes from here and he keeps representing your community, because everywhere he goes, he talks about this community. Every time he has the opportunity, he talks about all of you. So let me now sit and let him speak to all of us and talk about what his vision is and why we are here today. Thank you very much.
Listen very well. Sayo.
Amanda.
Reaction at Tennessee.
Abba.
Reaction at Tennessee.
Abba.
Fighting.
Abba.
Fighting.
Abba.
Fighting.
Abba.
Sayo. Wow, fighting on the battle, the men in the community against the issue. Sayo.
Sayo.
Thank you. And let me begin by saying that your character, your education and value should be seen practically in any decision you make or in your attitude and your relationship with people. That's what makes you who you are. If your education and your values cannot be seen in your decision making, if it cannot be seen in your connection with people, then it made no sense to me. And then John Dewey, one of the educators, said, learning and doing is knowing and doing. If you learn and don't go into practice, it makes no sense. Today we have come here to you, and you know me, I live here, I'm your brother, somebody, uncle, or father, or whosoever. What is most important today is we have come to let you know why Kumi is the best alternative for 2023. If you read the Liberia history, you start from the presidency, from Joseph G.P. Robertson up to now, President Weah. We have something that is in a big board that we call revolution of mind. Our target now is the revolution of the mindset. We have been having one thinking. Liberia has existed for 200 years, and we have been independent for 175 years. Still, as the first African republic, everything is still a challenge. When we talk about education, they say it's a mess. When we talk about roads, they say the roads is not connected. When we talk about the infrastructure, they say no, it's still poor. When we talk about electricity, LEC, they say Liberia still expecting current. These are conditions that will make you change the situation. What is the situation? What is the mindset? The mindset has been, we need somebody who are working government, that understand government to make a better Liberia. But then it's a contradiction. All of the presidents in Liberia, they are working government. If we just take it from, let's start from the president of Liberia, the first president, J.J. Rao was the what? First governor, the lieutenant governor of the Commonwealth, and become governor proper of the Commonwealth in September 1841. Starting from the morning time of the William V.S. Tubman, who was the youngest senator in the Republic and became president for 27 years, we still had issue. If being a person from government would make a better Liberia, William V.S. Tubman would have built Liberia up to skyscraper level, but we still have issue. We have William Aratobo. He tried a little bit, one among the thousand. Then we have Samuel Kanyando, who was a lieutenant governor who was the master sergeant in the army and become president or governor, head of state of the PRC government. To control army with gun is more difficult than to control ordinary people. So don't understand government. The fact that he controlled army, he was a president from government. But we have issue with Doe. Chancellor King, who was a GSA director under Doe government. He came as a head of the revolution. Chancellor became president, we still have issue with Chancellor. Though he worked in government as GSA director. We have Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, who was the finance minister under William Aratobo government in 1976. A lot of people had issue with Ellen corruption, Ellen this. And the same government, Ellen keep as finance minister. We had issue. Today, we have two of our president, the vice president and the president. President Weah came to the country and said, no, President Weah, you know, you got to go and be senator for a team. You got to understand government. President Weah went there and became senator. Today, President Weah is the president. Sable having problem, even rest issue now as we speak is a serious issue. But President Weah was senator. He was a peace ambassador. He works in government. So if working in government will give you the opportunity to be a good president, then by right, Liberia is far beyond everybody. Because all of the presidents come from that Bible. The vice president was a what? Who was in bed with the president. The best advisor is a female who is with the president. Then all the other advisors. But they are in bed, they can talk overnight. And she became senator 2 times. Then vice president. But the country is still in a worse situation as we consider it to be today. Then I think there is no need that we look into government to choose who we want. It is about time because we've been looking in the wrong direction for the right person. But today we are bringing Kumi to you. Because he came from a professional background, working with Kogoforo, head of Nigeria, head of West Africa, head of the whole world as vice president. And then there was no day, ask anybody, all of the argument against Mr. Kumi, nobody had ever told you Mr. Kumi stole money when you were working to this place. Nobody ever told you he did not perform. In the private sector, it is productivity, your performance that promotes you. So for somebody to just be a mere worker, you be head of Nigeria, you be head of Africa, then head of the world as vice president, it tells you that it was hard work, it was productivity. That's why Mr. Kumi did it. So we believe that Mr. Kumi will do better because he's coming from the outside. What made Joe we are now performing now? They baptize him in the evil water of corruption. Because if the man remain outside, maybe he would have tried. But they carry him there, they baptize him inside now. They say, my man, when you come here, you listen to one senator telling Tarot, you know, that when he comes here, they play a different area. As society, they play a different area. It tells you that when you go to that place, they will baptize you, you will be inside, you'll not do better. So we need a president who will come from outside. And let's see what happens. If he cannot perform, then we can go back to our starter course. Because we are elected the same kind of people for 175 years. And we're not getting the result we want. Then why not try outside? So what the ANC is presenting to you is that, look, we need the ANC mission is Liberia first, by mobilizing all 8 people to build a democratic, prosperous nation with justice and liberty for all. Look, let me tell you, some people say, but why come you say you want to be a clean man, but in a campaign team, you need no people? Kumi did not tell you that to be a leader of Liberia, you will kill people who are Zogo, you will kill these people. No, they are all Liberians. Even God said in heaven, consider all of them. But we will hold you accountable. If you do something that is not right, they will dismiss you. Because in the private sector, if you cannot wear, if you cannot perform, they are not dismiss you, they give you warning letter, they dismiss you. No fear, no friendship about that. And that's the orientation you come in with. Orientation matter. If you live in a community, that environment, what is in that environment as a behavioral pattern is what people follow. It's a Kumi come from the best practice orientation, where when somebody is not performing, they dismiss you. When you corrupt, they dismiss you. ANC is projecting that, no, this country to develop, we need to have the agricultural sector vibrant. That's one of the most important things that are very lacking. In 1979, we put up people in the street for rest riot. Today, because we are tired of why you see people are not going to the street for their rest business. But in 1979, the dispensation, the people at that time, they could not withstand it. Like people rest business, not smarting. So if you cannot feed yourself, then you are not country. Because these are the basic necessities that government should offer 8 people. 99.9% of the rest we eat in Liberia come from outside, importation. So the Chinese people who are in billion, you get around 5 million here, you now know where you can produce. And Liberia get 40% of the forest in West Africa. But even pepper we can buy from Guinea. So we must invest in agriculture. And Mr. Comey is coming with that particular stuff. And what is most important is that their subsistence farming are not very heavy. We need making that farming. You can go to China and bring investors to make farm here. Because the individual farming is not helping us. By the time in July in the interior, we call it free time. Hunger is all over, though we're farming there. So we need a making that farming. That company can and produce rest. Then we say, look, all of the argument that we need to build Liberia, we need to get the economy back to ourselves. The way to do it, not just to say we'll get Liberia back to economy. No, how do you do it? That is where ANC been discussing. One of the ways to do it, I think that Tommy High is one of the high schools that try. All of the government high schools, they need to have vocational school. In America, not everybody is a PhD holder to work. Most of our brothers who left from here, they are working, they live in a good life. They're not PhD holder, BSc or masters. You can have a vocational school, you learn something, maybe you are an electrician, maybe you do your tada, maybe you do cooking. I mean, there are a lot of vocational activities. Plumbing, that the man, when he graduates from high school, he already got a skill. He can use that skill to even sponsor himself to school. Because millions of us, we don't have the kind of money that our parents will send us to universities to think. But if the high school have the components of vocational school, you're coming from high school already with skill. But today we graduate from high school with abstract learning. You have to read a book. So we want a job that has to be in the office because we don't have any skill. So Liberia needs skills in the educational sector. That would make Liberia a great country. Then we said that we need our mission. I just talked about the mission and the vision of the ANC and the Kumi-led government that we are projecting to you, that we tell you to vote for. That government is going to have an inclusive Liberian society with a middle income. What is happening in our country is that we only have few people out there who say they are rich. All the other people, they are also poor people. We don't have money. We all maintaining that the new war. Anytime you want to go to child with somebody, I say, that got money, or that toy alone tell you the country. I was reading Economic 413, they were doing something at development economy, and they wanted a practical definition of what they call poverty. And they met the old lady in Kenya, and they asked her, because they wanted to get a practical definition of poverty. And when they asked her what is poverty, she was emotional. She thought they have come to remind her of her poverty. So she said, don't ask me what poverty is. You met it outside my house. Look at my house. see the number of holes, see the utensils, see the clothes I'm wearing. Get right. Anything you see is poverty. So but today, and so we have to be town conscious. We are working in town because we don't want to go against town. And so Liberia, where we are today, is not about personal thinking. That is a personal attack, who is who, and look at the people practical administrative life. What we need is somebody with managerial skill and who has it. What we need is somebody who will hold you accountable. If you equal money here, they will hold you accountable. No. If we continue to say, look, they play like elephant meat. My man, they play in Kenya, no Kenya to do anything. Liberia will still remain in this position. Let people begin to understand the difference between public fund and individual fund. If Emerson is giving $100 to bring it to poor United community, let Emerson understand that this money is not for him, or give it to him to give it to poor United community. And then attempt for Emerson not to do so, don't respect him. When you get to know that $100 they give to Emerson to bring it to this community, and give you $50, anytime you come to you say that man a corrupt. Call you TPTP roll. To build this Liberia that we are in, we need to hold people accountable. And one of the things I visited one minister lately to sit down with him to understand how government works. And he told me, brother, I know ANC will take over one day. But there is my kind of advice to you. Maybe take it to your leader. Let them allow the system to work. What I saw was a frustration from the professional background. It means that the government or politics can influence professionalism. When you're supposed to take your phone to that place, say, my man, it takes maybe $100 to carry that phone to that place. And it will take 1 minute. You say, my man, all I tell you, 20 minutes, just give you $20, yeah? Just take your own time to carry it there. That's the influence. The people got the expertise, some of them got good expertise to really help. But there are people at the hierarchy at the top who influence the decision. That's why help or handicapping or carrying the country downward. Because politics is influencing professionalism. So we need professionalism to move this country forward, not politics. We are tired with politics. We want to drive into professionalism. If I am to come to this class to teach today, I'm going to play my lesson plan. And if I'm going to teach now, I'm going to have the objective. What I want the children to know the definition first, and they will know some example. It should be plain. Then when I come to class, I'm going straight to that point. That's the kind of Liberia we want. If government will have a strategic plan, we can't live in a country where everything is just, just the same way. There is no determination. There is no future. And the future is not vacuum. No, it's not an empty space. When you say tomorrow will be good, and the decision you're making right now, if you are not going to school, you sit down home, you say, tomorrow will be better. You lie to yourself. You fool yourself. You got to take steps right now. If we have to change this country, all of us have responsibility. And the responsibility is the leadership. All of the private in the republic, number one is leadership, two is leadership, three is leadership, and you can just continue to count it. If you do not have a good leadership, the country will never move anywhere. We need good leadership. And people of integrity. Don't mind what kind of argument or the person are there. But look at the person like her. Do your own due diligence. Don't listen to politicians. They are good. The way I say here, I your brother, I've been living here, you know me good. But once I in politics, somebody will go sit and say, oh, that's all I do. They will talk all kind of things. But you know who I am. That is the most important thing. And before I conclude, and let me say this. If you go to a Kobo shop and you go to buy a Kobo, I will never be doing. And then you went there and you saw the lady who is selling you. The laptop that on her is dirty and everything there is dirty. Will you still want to go eat that food? Because the first thing is that the person who prepared the food, the way the person is looking, that tell you that our food is nice. It's not a good food. We who sell Kumi look at our lifestyle. If you know that your brother Emerson is not a good person, he does not have that moral integrity to come talk to you about somebody, don't vote Kumi. But if you know Emerson is not that kind of bad person, Emerson is not a person who is seeing things they mean. The person I'm selling to you, I'm convinced that that person will do better. And if the person cannot do better in the same year, hold it out. once our brothers then who come to us and talk to us, if their brother have been selfish, if their brother have not been having a relationship with us, they tell you say tomorrow vote a mayor. By the time they win election, that brother is going. You will never see that brother around you again. These are bad brothers. Those are brothers who always with you, who will always come by even if their leader win. They will come by and advocate and influence their leaders.
Speak, am I saying speak? Speak! Jaja, brother, Jaja.
So, let me conclude now because we need one or two statements from you. And like I told you, watch your brother then who come to you to sell their political leader. One of the things that I've done in this community when George Dan wanted to be representative, at that time Carol have taken over. And then he was putting the foundation of this place. So George Dan told me, son, I want you to campaign for me over there. But how do you think? I said, Abe, don't give me money. Maybe the way I brought a few days, he gave me money, maybe I'll go take 4 5 out from there. Then my name was sport. Because I want my name to sport. What you do, they put building community school there. They buy material and carry for them. What did we do? We bought 75 bags of cement. We bought 3 bundles of zinc. We bought 33 pieces of steel rods. And we brought a truckload of straw right here. Then Tony Street Parallel Hall, we bought 25 plastic chairs. We bought our ceiling. They will feel our influence. It means that when you elect our leader, we will influence them to build our community. That's the kind of brother that you should look for to push your argument outside there. That's the brother that will go there and forget about you. Yes. That's the kind of community we presented to you. So I want to just start right there. Thank you so much for coming and then deserting your business schedule to come to us. I want to tell you that community will make a better Liberia if we all can just look at the step that you're taking. You've been very consistent with the thing. He's a good man. He had a good heart. He really want to develop Liberia. He had told all in process that look, if you are here on the basis that when we come in, he plenty money to lie on the wrong side. I'm not saying you will not work, but you will work within your compound, your salary. Anything to go beyond that, you can even be my son said, I know you do, I will sack you. That's what to me I've been telling you. So that tells you that you're honest. Because politics is not in the air, we can say all other things, but in the process where the real politics, in the president comment, let's do it here. When you come and get plenty of things, then our president, that corruption you're talking about. But the man telling you, if you can't hear, you want to vote for me, and thinking that you come in job, then you are on the wrong side. You want to build the system, you want to build the technology. That's what for me is for. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Education, Zayo. Message to the top, Zayo. Amanda. You know, if veterans always a veteran. And so they always a soldier. So having said that, having listened because of time fighter, I know a speaker like Emerson, I don't think we have anything to go. But while you were in fly, we wasted around one of our sons, also a journalist, and I quietly seated among us. Ron said, please stand and see you. He's a journalist and he lives within our community. So this community is blessed. We are also fighting out one of these days to produce presidents from this community. Yeah. Amanda! Yeah. So having said that quickly, comrade veterans, our mothers, fathers listening, and I will consider a question. If you have any question from the directions our brothers spoke from, if there's any question or something you may have heard about ANC or what from the aspect of the political leader and you want clarity, just be very brief. And I beg of us, questions should not be repeating. What do I mean? If I ask the same question, John, don't ask that question. So don't be brief because the church, they are waiting to see their material packing. This is the only community area we have. So I beg of you, so I will direct I will ask my chair. The chair can open the question or maybe you make statement. Okay, that's fine. Please put it. Okay, I recognize you, female, ladies and gentlemen. Female, you are recognized. So quick, you are standing. Let me see you.
Yeah, I want to say something about this.
Go on, female.
Yeah, he said that we should tell someone from outside. So we are already inside. We see what involved our council in corruption workshop. Yeah. I want to say something. They made our baptized or we are in the corruption workshop. We say in the us. So when we have to take police from outside, you will not say about that.
Oh. We got to make sure that that's Zayo. So a question from me, from your expose, Joshua have been baptized by the corruption's water. Then why? Because of the men who have the authority to baptize people. If Kumi entered the hall, will he not also be baptized? That's the question I say, got it?
Okay. Here is the situation. President Weah went to the government before the presidency, and that's the problem I'm talking about. It takes a good president to change the whole country. You have followed the legislative proceeding in this country. Manasari had the power. When there was an issue with Suno, you followed that Suno case. The executive is very strong. Our lawmakers are very weak. Let me be bold to you today. You must say no. They can't make any legislation. Anything, for instance, if President Weah wants something to be done in our house, they be saying that it will be done. So it takes good president to change the country. The only problem with President Weah is that when he associated himself with them already in the system as a friend, and the friendship was built and the bond was built, and they went into certain organization or whatever, it makes them now to be connected that even if he's going up, he can't stay taking any decision against these people. But when he just come from outside and just get over it, we make a good president. That's what we were doing, but later on, it changed.
All right, thank you very much. So that answers your question. He started from the Senate, he got baptized from the Senate. That's a simple answer. So any more questions? Yeah, it's okay, please don't listen. He may not give you the answer that you want because he's not going to tell you to know what exactly you want to answer. But that's why he provided. Any question? Yeah, recognize your comrade.
Yeah, thank you very much.
December. Yeah, comrade, go on.
Thank you very much. Daniel T. Kilema is my name. I'm the General Secretary of the community. It's not a question per se. Actually, it's a request. It's a request to the leader and also ANC as the party. There's a people united community, and a recent survey proved that this community is in a range of around 20,000 people dwelling in this community. It's a community that has relative latrine and also a school. Like you see, the community is down. The community school is down, the latrine is down. So you serve as a principal of the school and also engage on the national scheme. I'd like to request that you take this to the party case that the people community, united community should be captured on your developmental agenda list. Thank you.
And let them recognize him. He's the General Secretary of the People United Community Leadership.
All right.
Powerful SG.
SG, you have been the pen pusher who understand how the God they are and across the field. So we salute you, have my right hand revolutionary salutation. We go up. And okay, yeah, recognize one of our senior brother. Brother Sin Aware.
I tell God, thank you. You know, you see me speaking, I want to speak. But I want thing to ever about Dolo.
It's about Dolo.
I'm from Podoka, but me, I can tell people, I can't take, party issue. But I take leadership. I take things what you can do. You know, MSC can be issue to all. It's all around here. Not the issue. Number of bad issue or good issue. You know, they say the thing what you can do, you can start with the personal, the people you can start with the and get it. But we look at MSC, more people know MSC here. But upon certain political background, I say I can't take a leadership or political party card. Because I want good leadership, I'll vote for you. I'm vote for myself, or I vote for Liberia. The thing what you can do for Liberia, I can follow behind you. But I look at the party will follow behind you. But I just standing up to look at who will do better thing for Liberia. Now me, I can vote for you, I vote for you, but why you do for me? Mine also, I'm doing for my family. But I want look at what you will do for Liberia people. More local, you will vote for you. But MSC Bodro, we come with good play, but continue.
Thank you very much. All right, that's applause. So we go quickly to at least 3 statements will just be okay because the church is waiting. A lot of me, I want us to sleep yet because anything that is fun, it just goes to the ear. But because of God business, and this is one government and everything little time. Yeah, so we, Chairman, we beg of you, we want to hear from you. Be a comment to your soul, having listened to, every good thing is brought from the angle of the ANC.
Thank you very much. What you said,
Master leader, I will come away again. You make people look at me like this. But it knows me. If you are just come ahead or tell me how both people get on this. Well, anyway, thank you very much. All what you have said is very taken. You know, if you have a leader who is very smart and open-minded to say the truth. Not because you were the ANC, so you want to say Kumi, but maybe you saw something put in Kumi. You understand how you did argument before, right?
Sure.
And we did that already.
Sure.
Somebody come for it, we were arguing about it. But you said some things that really touched me. And actually it makes sense. Leave the inside man and go outside. I will dream all that tonight and stay about it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Like why? My brother was just saying, you probably live job with one begin out and face a fan. Thank you for one. I just begin my mind, look at the thing at the same time. Bro, me I see the show, I will vote. So think yourself when you go for what you do. What will you do when you get the Bible? He said, let's show when they get over there, I will lay it down and pray for them and look at it for long. Who will get that chair back? So you know where he came from. So I just want to say thank you. So I want to say thank you very much for coming and for the time being that you serve the youth of the ANC for that time. Thank you very much. This is a community. General guys, you guys are welcome. This is a community.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We can do better than that. As our chairman,
Thank you very much. And as Mo here, I take you will be the second to the last recognize the general, and that will be. Oh, yeah, go on. Question? 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 No, we want question. Statement? No, we have a statement. Only one point to take a statement from. If there's no more question, because I hope the statement will not be the same thing they said. That's my problem. I'm waiting. Yeah, so no more time. And we can speak. Okay, thank you very much. So, having said that, we asked Mr. Bozolo and the co-officer for the party statement, and subsequently, party statement, very quick. Charles, we thank you. We are about to leave. Thank you.
Okay, so again, let me say thank you to you for giving us a space to come to your community and for you to leave your busy schedule to come to listen to what we have to say. And I want to say thanks to the leaders of the ANC Youth Congress. You know, this is what we are called to do, this is what we are committing ourselves to do. And special thanks to the Black leader, you know. And thank you for all of your questions, your comments, and we take them into consideration. We will go and process them. For and on behalf of the ANC Youth Congress, mind you, we are in opposition, right? So now I get the money. But we just want to give this small little purse, very small purse, to you for coming, everybody pull up. Yeah. So I want to say thank you, and we look forward to more engagement.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. All right, thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, and from here, I love being transparent because we all speaking about transparency here. What is it? I'm bored, Elijah. The way you didn't pay school fee, if you want to go pay. All right, I'll be very clear to the public. It's okay. This is good morning. It's not a US hour. It's our liberty. So, for the sake of, because it said it clear, they are not in government. The government here, wow, no. Yeah. So we saw that part. Though we didn't start with prayer, but God is here. So can we just go? Okay, yeah. So can any volunteer just pray for us quickly? Just